Hey, good afternoon, you wood butchers. It's time to start on that outfeed table. So starting off, we're going to do some basic cuts. I got my new work stands that I just made up, all ready to go. And so I got the track saw out. First cut is going to be the top and bottom panels of the upper section. So I'm going to do an initial cut 60 inches this way. This is going to be an inch too wide. It'll be 49 inches because MDF is 1 inch wider up here in Canada than the 4x8 sheets. So I'll have to rip that down, and then this will be used for a couple of the internal dividers, and then I got some 3/4 inch sheets of poplar ply to play with after that. So I'm going to start cutting things down. Not going to bore you with me ripping stuff to length and width, but once I get some better progress, I'll give you a shot of sort of where things are at. Alright, so I have all the stuff cut. This is the bottom and the sides for the base. These are the top and side pieces for the upper surface. And over here are the top and bottom of the upper surface. So I'm going to get everything finished up. What I need to do now is on these ones, I need to mark out those holes I'm going to cut. And then on the side pieces, they have to be milled into each of them, and then they all have to be cut to length. For the long pieces, the back will stay solid. It's the front piece I'm going to have to do, and it's going to be a single one off, so I'm just going to do it sort of freehand with saws and markings and jigsaws and whatever else. So I'm going to get to it and get back to you when I get everything finished up. Okay, coming along nice. I have one of the sections for the front face cut out. Again, remember we're on around 15 1/8 or 15 1/4 centers. So this is going to turn out really good. So all I did was I got a 3/4 inch spade bit, drilled in a little bit in from the corners after I laid out all the lines in pencil. Don't know if you can see that, it's a bit light. But I have them all lined up for each of the sections. So each has been pre-drilled in one corner and the other, going all the way down. And now it's just a bit of time with the jigsaw and a lot of mess on the floor to get everything fingered up. Okay, so the front face is all cut out, routed out, fixed up, good to go. Looking solid. I did the template for the side pieces, and that's done with the 2 bays that it's going to have on the side. And I've now just traced out onto the next board where it's going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-drill the holes, hit it really rough close to the line with the jigsaw, and once the 2 holes are done up, I'm going to realign this and then just hit it quickly with the template bit on the router. Not the template bit, the flush cutting trim bit, sorry. And that'll give me my good offset, and I'll be able to get all of them about the same size. So this piece will be my template for the 4 other side pieces. So that should go a little faster, that I don't have to be quite so delicate and so careful going around. Anyways, I'm going to probably file a little bit more on this and get it cleaned up a bit more, but it's coming out good. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to start assembling. I probably should spend some time with the family, but I'm going to work away at this until I get the call that it's supper time. Okay, it's coming along really good. I have my template on the bottom, the rough cut on the top. I have it nice and smooth on both sides, and hitting it nice and easily with the router. It comes out good. Has a nice little round over in the corner there. Does make a bit of a mess though. There is router shavings all over the place, even with vacuum hooked up. So, you know, it's a mess. I'm going to get this all done, and then I'm going to start cleaning up and getting ready for pocket holing. So, otherwise, catch you when all these are finished. Alright, so I'm working on the base of the outfeed table. This is going to be a separate unit from the top part. So I'm using it, I've decided to use pocket holes mainly because I'm familiar with it. It'll give me a quicker sort of setup. I can dial it in a little bit easier. And the other option would be to, you know, put a piece on top, sort of like that, and then drill through down into it. That would work as well, but I'm not always 100% sure about drilling into end grain on plywood. I do seem, for whatever reason, to think personally that the pocket screws tend to hold a little bit better because they're kind of going a little bit diagonally through the grain, and it's hopefully going to hold a little bit better. I don't know. I'm going to give this a shot. It's held on the other one for years and heavy stuff going on it, so I'm going to go with that. This is an odd birch veneer plywood. I don't think it's such a great one. These are about 50 bucks at Rona. It does fuzz up quite a bit, and the veneer is, I don't know, super thin. So it's good enough for this project. Would I use it for something important? Probably not. All right, so we got the back on, looking good. Everything's pocket holed up. I did the front. I will show you that in a second. So the idea is once I get the front and the back on, then I will be able to cut each side piece to fit in perfectly. So that's a little bit by sort of trial and error. I think on the ends, I'm just going to end screw in from here in. On the sides, trying to pocket hole may not work as good as I'd hoped. It'll be a bit of a mishmash of different ways of doing things. I was just about to put the front on, and I think the most important thing is always remember your order of assembly. Again, I'm never great with this, but I did go through, I don't know if you can see it, the pencil I'm using is really light, but I had to mark my 15-inch on center lines here all the way along, so that when I put the crossed pieces this way, I know exactly how to space them, so it's going to work with the Parf Guide system. So I almost oopsed it on that one. Again, thankfully I was going slow and thinking, was able to get it done. Okay, so I've got 4 stringers cut. The way I'm doing this is I am lining it up at the end there, just so it's right on the bottom. Coming across here, it's hanging over just a touch. I'll try and get a shot without knocking this over. Just drawing a line up through the corner, hitting the miter saw on top of that, and other than a couple that needed a little extra taken off, it's worked out good. Okay, so all the pocket holes are done for all of them. I did them all on the same side, except for this one over here had to be done in this face because it faces out, and again, you want the pocket hole to drill in and get more meat here. If it came from the other side, you don't get as much meat and it doesn't hold as well. So these will be set in place, and then I'll just drill through the ends here, actually going that way, and use some 1 3/4, yellow zinc decking screws. So I'm going to get working on that. I need to figure out what to do here. I've been debating on how to manage this. I thought maybe just making a platform on the bottom and just putting it in place. Then I thought about, making a tube that goes all the way through here. Then I thought about just lining it with some hardboard, maybe some 1/8 inch or some 1/4 inch. It's not going to take weight. It's going to, track saw rails are going to go through here. Because if I just leave it like this, they're going to bump. It'll be hard to get them in and out. So I'm going to work on that a little bit. See what I come up with. Don't know. Alrighty, making some good progress. We have the bottom part all done up. I got my little leveling feet on there. I just repurposed it from the old one. If I need more height or whatever, I can always put a little piece of shim or whatever underneath the feet here. There's about, probably about 1 inch of bolt up in here, so lots of room to play with. So I did the pocket holes on the bottom, but on the top part, I just did a through hole drilled with screws, glued. Everything's glued together because it's going to take a lot more weight than the old one. And termite is out here helping me quite a bit. That's a lot of dust that was under the old outfeed table, so hopefully I'll be able to make just as much with the new one, or more. So it was great work, and now we're going to get things assembled. Since I'm not strong enough to move all these pieces myself, we got the termite to help out. All right, so it works great. We have the base, which is basically a foot smaller than the top. Two separate sections. These are the holes for the track saws. I'm going to figure that out. That's going to be another project. I get my shop back in some type of order. This will be edged with some scrap oak I have. I'll bring it right up to the top, make it flush, give it a little bit of a chamfer. That'll work good. If we come over to this side, we have the little sections there, which if I'm doing something, I can just throw a drill or whatever in there. So that works out really good. I have to cut this edge down because it's just a little too wide, but I'll hit it with a track saw, then clean it up with a router. On the other side, I have a little bit less of an overhang. I think on this part here and this part here, I'm going to have like a little flip-up support in case I need it. And the termite was wondering how strong it is. It's pretty darn strong. So I don't think it's going to move anywhere. This is a nice big sort of outfeed table, lots of space to play with. I'm going to be able to cut bigger sheets, and then, as I mentioned, with the dog holes and the rail system, I'm going to be able to cross-cut really wide pieces, keep them right at the edge along this side so I don't have to bend over as much. The Festool track saw is going to work great with the DeWalt track saw. I'm really excited how this turned out. Next is really just to kind of level it out with the feet, get things organized, and start cutting some more wood. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'll split it off now, and then the next video will be the dog holes and maybe the interior when I figure that out. Have a great weekend.